Good morning, dear students. This is our first lesson today, and we're going to start Unit 7 for second term. The title of the unit is How was your weekend? Now we have different places. Look at the photos. Which places do you have in your area? Now we're going to read these new words. We have aquarium. Aquarium is the museum where we can see fish and sea animals like whales and sharks. This is aquarium. And then we have here sports center. This is the place where you go to play some sports or do exercise. And we have also the fun fair. The fun fair is the place where we go to play and go on the big wheel. And then we have the planetarium. The planetarium is the place where we can see the stars in the sky using a telescope. And then we have a football stadium. This is the place where we go to watch matches. And then we have a bowling alley, the place where we can go bowling. And then we have the museum where we can see things and statues from the past times. Here we have some questions. As you can see, the questions are all in the past simple tense. What did you do last weekend? We have the helping verb did and the keyword last weekend. It means that this question is in the past, so the answer should be also in the past. I watched the football match. I rode on the big wheel. Rode on. This is the past of ride. Rode is the past of ride, and this is the big wheel here in the fun fair. I rode on the big wheel. I saw an exhibition about dolphins. Exhibition, something like a show. Here I looked at the stars. Of course, he went to the planetarium because he looked at the stars. I went bowling. We always use verb go with sports or activities that end in ing. We say go bowling, go swimming, go running. So the past here, I went bowling. And then the last sentence, I played tennis. Now let's turn to page 3. Read the answers to Ziad's questions and answer these questions. Where did his friends go last weekend? Of course, they went to the planetarium. Number 2, circle the verbs in the past simple tense, which are regular. Now we have something like a diary. Okay, a diary here, this word means that something where you write what you're going to do. Okay, this is a diary, a diary. Here, a diary, he wrote that on Saturday at 1 p.m. he went to the museum. At 8 o'clock p.m. he went to the fun fair. And on Sunday he went to the planetarium at 9 a.m. Okay, it means that his friends went to the planetarium. Now we have the rule of using the past simple tense. We use the past simple, the past time expressions to say when something happened, like this sentence, I went to the museum last night. This is the key word. That's why we use went, or last Monday, last week, last month. I went bowling an hour ago, or 3 days ago, 6 months ago, 4 years ago. These are all in the past simple because we have the keywords last and ago, and sometimes we use also yesterday. Here we have other expressions we use for the past simple tense: this morning, yesterday, in 1999, in October. Now let's turn to lesson 2 in unit 7. Read Adam's diary. What do you think the word nervous means, and why does Adam feel this? Now let's read the text. Sunday, 8th of May. Yesterday, our family moved to our new house in Alexandria. It took 3 hours to drive from our old house in Cairo. On Monday, the 9th of May, this morning, Mom and I went shopping to buy a new school uniform for me. I hope students are friendly in my new school. Tuesday, the 10th of May, today I went to my new school. I was quite nervous, but I sat next to a boy called Sammy and he was friendly. So what's the meaning of nervous? Nervous means that he was not feeling comfortable. He was not feeling comfortable because he went to a new school and he had no friends at this school. But I sat next to a boy called Sammy and he was friendly. We had lunch together in the school canteen. Now let's turn to the questions in exercise number 2. Read again and answer the questions. What day Adam and his family move house? They moved on Saturday, the 7th of May. Where was Adam's old house? It was in Cairo. Number 3, how did Adam feel before he started his new school? He felt nervous. Number 4, how did he feel at the end of the first day? And how do you know? Of course, at the end of the first day at school, he felt happy. How do I know? Because he had a new friend there and Sammy, his new friend, was friendly. That's why he felt happy at the end of the first day. Number 5, how did you feel when you started a new school? This question is about yourself. You're going to describe how do you feel if you go to a new school. Now let's turn to another day in his diary. Monday, the 16th of May. What a fantastic weekend. I went to Sammy's house on Saturday and we played football in the park. I don't usually like football, but all his brothers wanted to play. It was a lot of fun. On Sunday, Mom helped me with my homework. Then Dad and I went to the sports center. It's great. There is a really big swimming pool. Now, turn to page 5. We have some questions about the text that we have just read. Read all the diary pages again. Who did Adam do these things with? Number 1, I drove from Cairo to Alexandria. He drove to Cairo to Alexandria with his family. Number 2, who went shopping with Adam? Of course, his mom. Number 3, who had lunch in the school canteen? Adam and Sammy. Who played football? He played football with Sammy. And number 5, he did his homework with his mom. Number 6, he went to the sports center with his dad. have some extra questions here in exercise number 5. Ask and answer the questions in pairs. Which sport does Adam not usually like playing? Of course, he said that he didn't like to play football. Number 2, why did he play this sport with Sammy? Because Sammy's brothers wanted to play with him. And number 3, why do you think he enjoyed it? I think he enjoyed it because it was a lot of fun. Now let's turn to the language or the grammar item in our unit here. This is about past simple tense. Of course, you know that we use the past simple tense when we talk about something that happened, that started and completed or finished in the past. For actions that started and finished in the past. And we use the keywords yesterday, last, ago, this morning, or in 2010, or any date in the past. And we have 2 kinds of verbs. We have regular verbs that end in D or ED, like play, played, like, liked. And we have irregular verbs like go, went, swim, swam, and so on. To form the negative, we use didn't plus infinitive. We say, I didn't go to the club yesterday. So to form the question and the negative, we use did plus infinitive form of the verb. Now let's look at exercise number 7. Correct the underlined words. What time is it? It is 10:15. Number 2, do you like jazz? Yes, I like. No, like here is not correct. We should say, yes, I do. Number 3, when did you go to the sports center? The question here is in the past because we have the helping verb did. So we should say, I went there 4 days ago because the question in the past. So the answer should be also in the past. Number 4, have you got a new jacket? No, I haven't. We begin the question with have. So we should say or answer saying, no, I haven't. Number 5, can she swim? Yes, she can, because the subject here is she. Yes, she can. Now we're going to read a story. Of course, it's an adventure story about a character called Robinson Crusoe. As you can see, he was alone on an island. Let's read the passage. Okay, Robinson Crusoe is an adventure story by Daniel Defoe. Robinson Crusoe was a sailor. A sailor that means that he is a person who works on a ship. A sailor. One day, his ship sank. Sank. This is the opposite of float. Sank is the opposite of float. It means that it went to the bottom of the sea. It went to the bottom of the sea. One day, his ship sank because there was a really terrible storm. Terrible Terrible means very bad storm. Crusoe swam to a nearby island. Nearby, it means that it was not far from him. But there were no other people there. There were no other people, it means that he was alone. But there were no other people there. Crusoe wrote a diary, and we said that a diary is something that we write about ourselves, of what happened to him on the island. Before the word island, we always say preposition or use preposition on. On the 18th of December, I arrived on the island 4 days ago. Today, I walked along the beach again, but I saw nobody and I think I'm alone. I'm alone. There was no one with him. This afternoon, I found a dead fish and ate it, but it was not nice. Although I'm hungry, I don't want to eat another dead fish. On December 19th, I found a coconut. A coconut is something like this one. It's something round and there is white liquid inside it. I found a coconut on the beach today. It was delicious. Delicious means tasty. Tasty, he liked it. It rained last night and I was cold and wet. So today I went to look for a cave. I want a warm place to sleep. I walked through a jungle. A jungle is the place like a forest full of thick trees. And there were some rocks, but no cave. Cave is a hole in the mountain. A hole in the mountain. On December 20, I found a cave. Now, let's look at the questions here. What about Robinson Crusoe? What did Crusoe want to find? Robinson Crusoe is a sailor. We know that he is a sailor and he wanted to find a cave. What kind of story is Robinson Crusoe? It's an adventure story. Number 2, what date did Crusoe arrive on the island? Here he wrote December 18th. He wrote that he arrived there 4 days ago. It means that he arrived there on the 14th of December. What 2 types of food did he eat? He ate a dead fish and then he ate a coconut. Which did he prefer? Of course, he preferred the coconut. He didn't like the dead fish. Why do you think he wanted to find a cave to sleep in a safe and warm place? Now we have some extra questions about the story of Robinson Crusoe. What kind of person was Robinson Crusoe? Of course, he was an adventurer. He was an adventurous person. Number 2, what was the island like? The island is something in the middle of the sea. It's surrounded by water, and there was no one on this island except Robinson Crusoe. Number 3, what other things do you remember about the story? Tell your partner. Of course, we remember that he ate a dead fish, but he didn't like it. Then he found a coconut. He ate it and he liked it. It was delicious. And then at the end of the day, he wanted to find a warm place or a cave to sleep in. And of course, he was afraid of he might find wild animals there. That's why he wanted to find a cave to stay safe. Number 5, did you like the story? Why and why not? Of course, this is your opinion. You're going to write about your opinion. Here at the end of this page, we have some connecting words or joining words. We have the word because and although. We use because when we want to give a reason. For example, my friend went to the doctor because She was sick. So we use because to give a reason. And we use although to present a contrasting ideas. We use although to contrast information. For example, although I'm very hungry, I don't want to eat another dead fish. This is contrasting. He was hungry, but he didn't want to eat. So this is contrasting. This is opposite ideas. That's why we use although. Now let's turn to lesson 6. Read Dalia's diary and write the writing tips. What was her opinion of the terrible day and why? Now let's read the writing tip here. Tip means something like advice, a piece of advice. You can end a sentence with an exclamation mark to show a strong emotion. We use exclamation mark to show strong emotion. For example, oh my God, at the end of this sentence, because I have a strong emotion, so I put an exclamation mark like this one, exclamation mark. This is a punctuation mark called exclamation mark. We use an exclamation mark after interesting or surprising information. When you are surprised, we use exclamation mark. A capital letter follows both a full stop and an exclamation mark. It means after a full stop, when we write after a full stop or after an exclamation mark, we use a capital letter. Now let's read here on August the 13th, on Sunday. Today was a terrible day. Terrible, it means that it was a very bad day. My baby brother woke me up. Woke me up. Woke, this is the past simple or the past form of wake. Wake, it means stop sleeping. To stop sleeping, to get up or to stop sleeping. Woke me up at 5 a.m., 5 in the morning. I am so tired now. I went to the kitchen for breakfast, but we had no milk or bread. So Mom asked me to go to the shops, but it was closed because it was only 6:30 a.m. Here we have some writing tips. We use the past simple tense most of the time because we're talking about something that happened already in the past. Use the first person I or we when we write about ourselves. Then we use the word then to write things in order. And this was the first part of the story, and this is the second part that we use here. Then I tried to do my math homework, but I lost all my work because my laptop stopped working. Although we planned, and we said that although is used to give contrasting ideas. Although we planned to have a barbecue in the afternoon, it was very windy. We could not have it. I hope tomorrow is a better day. Talk about your feelings here at the end. We talked about our feelings, hope, thoughts, and opinions. And you may include pictures and doodles. Doodles, something when we write not in a tidy way. Now let's explain these questions. Of course, when we write our diary, we use the past simple tense because we tell the others about our past things or our something that happened yesterday or last week or in the past. And we always use the first person I or we. When we talk about ourselves, we use I or we. Which words can we use to show the order of things? To show the order, we use first or firstly, then, after that, finally. Think of other words that we use to show feelings or hopes or thoughts. You can, I hope, I expect, I think. Now we come to the end of Unit 7. I'm going to give you this part as homework. You're going to do it as your homework. Reorder the words to make questions, then ask and answer questions in pairs. These words are not in order. Okay, you're going to rearrange the questions, rearrange to put them in order, and then you're going to answer about yourselves. Now we come to the end of the first unit. Thank you, goodbye, until we meet again. Thank you.